Alright, today we're gonna make one of my favorite dishes, and we're gonna be back in the kitchen. So the last time I was here, we were technically in the kitchen, but we were working on the pantry lights. So now that the pantry lights are done, actually that'll probably help with everything, right? Because we can see all the ingredients that we're doing. Today we're gonna make my favorite rice dish. It's the salmon Ikura rice, and it's gonna be done in a donabe. It's actually sitting over there. It's the Kamado-san. Pretty classic design. It's probably been around for about 20 years now. A lot of restaurants use it. It actually caused us to go to Japan, really. It's actually made in the Iga area. And people are like, oh, hey, you're going to Iga. You know, that's where all the ninjas are from. But we're like, no, we're actually going there for like the pottery. So, I'm gonna get the ingredients together. This is gonna be some shiitake mushrooms, sake, some dashi, and mirin is actually part of that. Some sake I mentioned already, and then some soy sauce. The salmon is probably going to be, hold on a sec, grab that out. Okay, so here's some salmon, and we're gonna have the, well actually I went with the baby fish eggs, the Ikura. You could actually do it with the regular size, the pearls, some ginger. So I'm going to start with washing out the rice. Okay, we're gonna be starting with 3 cups of rice. And that's 3 cups of Asian rice. It's a little bit smaller than, it's actually about 3/4 cup of a normal, maybe US 1 cup. And I like to rinse it 3 times. It's very similar to the KFC rice recipe that I've done earlier, if you want to refer to that. So I'm gonna go pretty quickly with washing the rice 3 times. Okay, so that's the 3rd time. So as it acclimates for 20 minutes, there's other things that you could do. You could actually start preparing the rest of the recipes, the ingredients, cutting the salmon, getting the shiitake mushrooms ready. I'm gonna get the shiitake mushrooms ready. So these are actually dried. So I'm just gonna put some water into this thing and then let it acclimate back, and then we'll chop it up as one of the ingredients. Just filled it up with some water, and then we'll just like let that set for a little bit. It doesn't take that long. And then once it's ready, softens up again, then we'll just go ahead and chop it up. Okay, as the rice is still acclimating, we could just put together the ingredients. So I actually moved the donabe over. So the ingredients basically is going to be 1 tablespoon of light soy sauce, and then it's going to ask for 1 tablespoon of mirin. That's that guy. Pour that in. So actually what's in the pot right now is 450 milliliters of water. So I usually put 150 milliliters per cup of rice, then we're doing a 3 cup. This recipe also calls for some dashi. Dashi is kind of very similar to, I just call it like chicken broth, but here's a pack that I like. Actually, I wrote it down as dashi too, just to remind myself what's in here. Well, we're gonna put in, actually I'm gonna put in 2 packs into the water, and then mix it all in as we get ready for the rice. Actually, once it's kind of all mixed in, sometimes I like to just pour the rice into that and let it all soak during that 20 minutes of acclimation. So here comes the dashi. I'm gonna pour in the rice actually at this point now too, because the rice can actually acclimate in the ingredients that we just added, and it'll just soak up all the goodness of it. So right now You can't just let it all hang out, really, in the pot. And then we're going to cut up the salmon, the ginger, green onions, and the rest of the ingredients that we'll lay on top of this. Okay, so at this time, the shiitake mushrooms, they're all kind of soaked up now. They're all pliable. So it's kind of back to almost like before they were all dried out. So I'm going to chop these guys up. So don't worry about too much about the ingredient list and how much. I'll add the details, the list below. So I'm just going to chop these guys up. So I'm just going to add the ingredients back into the bowl as I get done with it. Okay, gonna add in some ginger. I don't know, people kind of mentioned to me different ways to peel it. Some of them like to use a spoon, and you could just sort of scrape off the skin that way, or actually use a peeler. Okay, this recipe calls for some green onions as well. Okay, so at this time I'm going to introduce the salmon. So really, skin and all on the back side of it. I'm cutting into some strips, and we're just going to lay it over the pot with all the ingredients that I have currently so far. Okay, so I'm going to layer it down here now. And really, there's no real magic to it. Just laying it all on the surface, on top. You can see all that goodness below with the rice acclimated already to the dashi. That's with the sake and some of the mirin. Got some ginger going on, the shiitake mushrooms. You could probably overlap all this stuff, but in the end, it's all going to get pretty well cooked together. It's actually a really pretty sight. Okay, so this guy's back on the stove, and with all the salmon pieces already cut up and laid on top of it. So again, this donabe is a double lid system. So here comes the first lid, and then the second lid comes. Actually, you kind of notice the two hoses that's on top, the steaming hose, and then on the outer one that I'm going to put on top, there's another hole. So you like to do that 90 degrees. So 90 degrees from these two holes would be either this hole or this position or that position. So I'm just going to pick this position. So this is probably the best way to cook rice. Plain rice from a donabe is like heaven to me. Okay, so I'm firing this guy up to medium high, and it's going to go for about 17 minutes until you actually see a steady steam of coming out of the steam hole. And that's almost how you actually tell when things are done. And what's great about the donabe is because it retains all that heat with the clay properties. And once you turn it off, actually it's still cooking. So after I turn it off in 17 minutes or so, then it's going to continue cooking for another 20 as it cools down, if that makes sense, and then things will be ready. There's a great shop actually in LA, and Nyoko Moore owns the place, and she can probably get you everything that's donabe related. She's so friendly and so nice. I would highly recommend you looking at her up. She has a YouTube line of happy donabe life. Okay, so it's been about 17 minutes, so you actually can start seeing the steam coming out, right? It's actually very steady right now, coming out of this hole. I'm not going to touch this. Leave this alone for 20 minutes because it's going to be continuing to cook. So you can see that the flame is off and the steam is coming out at a very steady pace. And that's actually a very good thing to see. And we're going to open this guy up in 20 minutes. It's been 20 minutes since we turned off the stove. So I'm going to take it off and sort of mix up the salmon and the ingredients together. So that's the first lid. We'll take off the second lid. It's actually smelling really good right now. You kind of see the pieces. So really, you're just going to break this up. And you're going to stir that in. You can see that the rice is all soaked up with all the dashi and the all the ingredients that we had put in. So I'm going to spoon this guy in. Get yourself a proper bowl here. Get some good pieces of salmon. My nephew loves this dish, by the way. So we're going to garnish it over here for a little bit. Going to put some. Well, the reason why it's called salmon Ikura is because here's the Ikura. You kind of sprinkle that in. I like the baby ones. Actually, the larger eggs actually work great too, because as you bite into it, then you get that savoriness as well. Put in a little bit of the seaweed as well on top of it. Maybe we can probably sprinkle in some sesame into it, just a little bit. Okay, now actually that looks pretty good, huh? Check that out. Okay. Hopefully it comes out like how I've been like making it last couple times now. Okay. Very good. This you can taste the balance of the Ikura eggs. You got the salmon going. You got the seaweed dressing on top, and then all that rice is just full of like the flavors from the dashi. It's a very good dish. You should try it out for yourselves. It's not that difficult. So, so hey Diana, I noticed that I don't have a windsock actually on my mic. Thank you for commenting on that last time. I don't have that windy of a kitchen here. So, if you like my stuff, you guys gotta hit that subscribe button and like button. Like I said, I'm trying to shoot for 100. I think I'm at 43, whatnot. But so we're gonna see what projects we get into next time. I don't know whether we're ending up in the kitchen or we're gonna do more like house improvement projects. But that's the fun part of finding things out. So appreciate the support, and then we'll see you guys next time.